morning, Kevin. Good morning, Greg.
Morning.
We figured this whole thing will hopefully gain some momentum and gain some legs to start growing and actually get a real, Tech Tuesday every month. We figured we got to start somewhere.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
You just tagged Matt to be the one to come up with a starting topic for this one.
Lucky me.
But it was meant to be like just a round table, just two-way discussion, not just us presenting things, and to come up with ideas for future ones too.
Yeah,
and there may be things.
Start with a little topic.
Yeah. And it may be that there's a topic that, one of you, or, it's close to your heart or really know well, or, be something that you want to share. We're happy to do it that way too. Who just joined us? There's a caller. Call in user 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That might be it. Okay.
Start?
Might as well.
All right. So first topic, I thought it would be a good idea to start this whole Tech Tuesday thing with is what Tritium started adding for people with SMAs on JACEs and supervisors. It's backup as a service is what it's called, and as part of that, there's also an asset manager which lets you manage or see the JACEs and supervisors that you have and when their maintenance comes up for renewal and that sort of thing. So Niagara started doing this cloud services thing, I guess it was later last year that they started adding it in, and it's a lot of these features are, so far, all of the features are free so long as you have an active SMA.
We're trying to come up with having value in the SMAs rather than just...
Aside from just software.
Yeah, just enough, that you get the latest version, right?
Right. So right now, those services that are available are the Asset Manager, which I'll show you a little bit of, and Backup as a Service, which lets you essentially back up a JACE or a supervisor to the cloud for free. So if a JACE dies, you could have a backup that was automatically put up into the cloud 7 days ago, and you get a bunch of stuff with that. So this is the roadmap that they showed at Summit. You can see we're sort of like right here right now. I know one of the things that isn't on here that I know they've been playing with a little bit is like a supervisor light that lives in the cloud. So no graphics or anything in the cloud, but you can do like dashboards, bring points up, look at history, scheduling, alarms, that sort of stuff. And I know that was, I don't know if it was, I guess it was alpha, would you consider that correct? That we saw?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like early alpha.
No, it wasn't even that. They didn't really have any code. It was more of a concept.
Concept, okay. Proof of concept thing. I know they're working on that though. And obviously all of these things only really work if your JACE or supervisor has internet access. So the Asset Manager basically lets you manage your Niagara licenses, so it sort of lives on top of Niagara Central. It lets you basically say what version you have installed at the site, as well as what you're licensed for, give locations, project names, and then get notified when your SMAs are approaching expiration. And it also this is where you get access to your cloud backups for your JACEs and supervisors that you haven't set up on. And for that, I'll just real quick show you. Just logging into Niagara Community. And because I'm already set up in Asset Manager, you can see it adds a link here at the top. If you're not set up, you have to scroll down to the bottom, do this Get Started with Asset Manager. If no one in your company is set up Asset Manager so far, you'll give it some information about your company, and then you can add users in and give permissions to people, as well as end users.
Administrator?
Yeah, so there's an administrator that basically runs your company, and then they can delegate permissions to other people as well. So this is basically it. The list of all the devices that you've brought in. So you can go to add a device, and you can bring them in from Niagara Central, your company, to the licensing server here, or add a single device by host ID, or bring in a CSV by your host ID that you have. Back, I know that JACE that I've got stuff on this guy here, which is our office JACE. So if I go into it, it'll tell me information about what the JACE is, what model, the location, this stuff I put in, the project, the address, owner, service provider, that's all done by me. And then this software maintenance agreement expiration is brought in automatically. The licensed software version that comes in automatically from the license, installed software version I put in, and then the latest backups, you go into that. That's going to list out all the backups that have been done to the cloud from the JACE. So from in here, you can pull one up and it downloads it. The only space. Yeah, you get, so that's what I'm going to talk about next in the backup stuff, but real quick before we go to that, you'll see up here, if I go back to the list actually, there's a bell icon up here saying that there's one maintenance alert that I have an expired JACE here, and I have these ones coming up for expiration. So you have an easy place to manage when your software maintenance agreements are going to come up for renewal. Right now, or prior to this, there was no real easy way to manage all of your host IDs or your licenses when they were going to come up.
So this replaces the spreadsheet?
Yes. That's the idea. That's actually how they pitch it, as instead of having a spreadsheet, sort of have an automated spreadsheet. Right.
Another maintenance type place.
Yep, exactly. So for the backup as a service, that's included for free so long as you have an active SMA. So the interesting thing is this doesn't work on demo licenses because you don't have an SMA on your machine or your office supervisor or JACE. If it's a demo, you don't get backup as a service. But for the guys that do have SMAs, you get a gig of free space for JACEs and 5 gig for supervisors. Works the same as the backup service did previously, where it doesn't include histories and alarms by default. So if you keep it that way, you can keep a lot of backups up there with just 1 gig. If you start adding in histories, you get rid of that exception, and you could quickly eat up that space depending on the job. It's available in 4.3.1.8 and above. It's schedulable, so you could, within the tool or within the service itself, there's a drop down so that you can set certain dates, but you can also throw in your own schedule and custom trigger it whenever you want. You can add in backups if you do a manual backup. So if you click the button and you know that you just added in a bunch of controllers or changed some stuff up, you can make a note of that, and that note gets pushed up into the cloud too, so you can see it there. If you might have noticed that when I downloaded the backup, it wasn't a disk, it was an e-disk because it's encrypted. So it uses your passphrase on your JACE or supervisor, and it encrypts that backup prior to being sent to the cloud. So Tritium has no way of getting into that backup, obviously, unless you know the passphrase. And like I said, the alarms and histories aren't included.
Does the backup service tell you when you're out of memory, or does it just die on you? It should be giving you some sort of a warning to say, hey, look.
I haven't run into that yet, because I haven't done enough backups to get there. I would imagine that it's going to do the thing like a supervisor does, where it rolls off your oldest. So your backups that have been sitting up there the longest, it'll knock off.
Not just
There's another thing that I don't mention here that I can show you is when you do a manual backup, there's a checkbox for, I think they call it retain or retention, and that will keep it on the server so that it doesn't get rolled off. So if you had like a starting point, when you left the job, this was the good backup, you hit retain, it won't get rolled off, but your automatic ones after it, once you hit the limit, will get rolled off.
So once scheduled, it'll just sit there and back up your JACEs all the time?
Yeah, Tritium's recommendation for that is every 30 days, especially if you're not doing histories and alarms. Not much is going to change structurally in the station. And then the setup is super easy. There's 5 modules. It's actually a little bit more because of the way they break down the modules now. But it's basically all the cloud modules, all the modules that start with cloud. They get installed in the JACE or supervisor, restarted after you put them in. You delete the backup service that's in there now. Because you put in a new cloud backup service, and having 2 backup services in the JACE, according to Tritium, can cause issues. So you delete that backup service, add the cloud backup one in, as well as this Cloud Sentience connector. You'll register the connector with Niagara Cloud, and then double-click your cloud backup service and set your trigger to be whatever you want it to be. So I can show that.
The cloud backup service works just like the backup service. If you were to go into your station, you can still invoke it, invoke a backup like you could in the past.
Exactly, yeah. So you can see here we've got the cloud backup service and the cloud connector, but there's no backup service here. But if I go up to my station, right-click, and do a backup, it works exactly like it did before. So you can still do your backups as you did before, it looks a little bit different because that backup service isn't there.
When you do backup that way, right-click and back.
Yeah, it backs up to your machine like it did before. Yep, exactly. Yeah, this functionality doesn't change now that you have the cloud stuff in there. So I can't show you the process here of connecting it to the cloud because I'm already connected to the cloud with this device. But basically, you would bring these 2 services in. Obviously, they live in the Cloud Sentience connector module and the cloud backup module. They just get drug out. Double-click on the cloud connector, do register device. It'll ask you to log in with your Niagara Central account. It'll associate it with your account, and then say, okay, you're good to go. And then that's all that this service does is basically give you the connection to the cloud, and the backup itself is done through the cloud backup service. So you can see there's a trigger mode up here. Right now we're set for every 7 days. You can make that whatever you want. You can also make it manual if you don't want to automatically send them up to the cloud. Tritium's recommendation is 30 days. But you can see it does give you the usage out of your 1 gig, how much you've used. And you can manually trigger backup from here. You can download backups from here. And you can also see, if you go into like the regular backup manager, you can see when regular backups were triggered as well, not just the cloud ones. And that's just the backup manager view, aside from the cloud manager view. That's really it.
You see there is a column there for retain.
Yeah, and that's if I hit backup now here, so you keep this backup. And then you can put in your notes for whatever you want to say, and those notes get pushed up to the cloud too. So if didn't have the JACE available to you, you could go to the cloud and see exactly what those notes were that you put in. This is when we left the job. This is the master, the as-built station, or as-built backup.
What's the process or the practice for when you have multiple JACEs under a supervisor and you need to back everything up? Is it?
That would be up to you. You could back up just the supervisor. Like if you have a provisioning set up where you're backing up to the supervisor already, you could just back up the supervisor and make sure that those backups for the JACEs are included.
Yeah, the provisioning folders underneath the station for supervisor.
Okay. So you just have to make sure in here,
in conjunction with the cloud service.
in your exclusions. So I just went to the property sheet of the cloud backup service.
Yeah.
In the exclusions, you would just make sure that provisioning folder is in an exclusion and it will get backed up. So you can see right now by default, history and alarm, as well as the history and all the databases here are excluded. You can get rid of that exclusion and back it up. It'll make your backup bigger, but you have that option. That's really the
If you go back to Niagara Central, it shows on there how much space you have available. You go to one of the JACEs, I think it's right here.
And then it would be the 5 gig for the supervisor.
Somewhere, I mean, it was there, maybe it was view all backups is where it was. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Yes, you have it here as well as here.
Oh, okay.
So depending on where, if you're not at the site, you can still see how much space you have.
I think you mentioned it before, but you said you entered the installed version. It shows you the licensed version.
Correct. And you enter the installed version. Yeah, because the initial setup for the asset manager is just based on the license. It doesn't know about the station.
Right. So it doesn't like probe your
Look at your distribution file.
No.
right, evaluate what you've done or how negative.
No, yeah, because these backups are encrypted, they couldn't even do that if they wanted to.
That's cool.
That's truthful, right?
Okay. What about security with connecting things to the cloud? Is it just connect through regular?
It's SSL connection.
Okay, so you gotta have SSL certificates installed.
Yeah, they have that portion done already.
Okay.
The SSL certificates that they're using are included as a part of the modules. They actually have a cloud config is one of the modules.
Okay.
My assumption is that that's where that sort of stuff is kept.
That's magically handled.
Yeah, because I know I ran into a couple errors initially with this stuff. I was testing it, and they gave me a new cloud config module.
Okay.
Just, on it's just a dependency for those two services.
So we don't need to do any coordination with IT departments?
No, because it's going outbound.
Okay.
So there's no port open or anything like that. You're connecting to their server from the JACE or the supervisor. Good. And there's nothing that comes the other way. Cool. You're initiating everything. You could, if you wanted to download stuff here, but it's just pretty, yeah, that's really it for the cloud backup and asset manager stuff. Any of you guys on the phone have any questions or anything like that?
No, it's pretty cool.
It's one of those things that really is not being used anywhere.
Right.
It's like the best kept secret.
And it's
type
free,
thing.
exactly. There's no reason not to use it.
So when you have your customer that complains that, why do I have to pay this maintenance agreement for my system that's already up and running? Now you have something that can say, well, it's because it's backing me up periodically, so if you have a catastrophic failure.
Yeah, because I know we've gotten support calls about people getting ransomware. Whole supervisor is toast unless they pay their Bitcoin fee to the hackers, which they're not going to do.
Right.
And their backup strategy might not be the best.
That's happened a couple times.
That's what I'm saying. This could save your butt if you just put it on the supervisor, and otherwise you're going back to the super old version that you might have from.
I got a question. What if a customer doesn't renew the maintenance plan? Like, say it runs out. You know how you're listed a few that, like, one was expired. What happens then?
Let it run out. I mean, obviously the software keeps running. What happens is, if they leave it run out, say, for 2 years, and then there's an upgrade that they want to do, you got to pay for that lapsed time.
Okay, so you're responsible. And what is the software maintenance agreement a year?
I don't know what the cost is.
It depends on the
how many
devices
connected
you have.
devices or points.
Yeah, and how many years you want to do it for, too. But as far as what happens to the cloud part?
No, the cloud part's not going to continue.
No, it won't, it'll stop doing backups. But I don't think it's going to go away, though.
No, I don't think it's going to go away. I think your backups that you had will be there still, but you won't obviously be able to push
fresh backups. Yeah. Yeah, we've run into that too, where contractors have not kept their RMAs, and all of a sudden they want to add to or upgrade, and they have to go backwards to pay for everything that they have. You know, so it's not a 3-year maintenance, only gets you the current.
You're not.
You have to pay another 3 years.
Yeah, you're not saving any money if you say, oh, I'll take a year off of the SMA and then come back and get the new version.
Yeah, they don't allow that.
They get you. Yeah,
because you could be out. You could be out 2 years, and if you're out just going to pay for 1 year, and then find out that 1 year you just paid for only paid for the first year that you lapsed. You still got to get by 2 years.
Right.
So that's where it gets confusing. That's where you got to be careful. You can quote your customer, but then if you go to order and it's really 3 year you need, not a 1 year, that's when it gets costly.
That's scary when you start lapsing and your follow-up of when your SMAs are up. I'm not sure that I've got SMAs that are up, but that's
where it's key to get as a manager so you don't miss that. It's an opportunity for recurring revenue.
Good feature. Because we've had contractors go to upgrade jobs. They quote the customer on a simple upgrade. It's like, oh, we got to give you 3 years of upgrades, and then so they have to eat it because they've already quoted the customer. So it can be a little like under.
Well, we've seen it.
People have gotten unhappy.
I'm all of a sudden really nervous.
So yeah, something to be, I mean, these are things that you can already obtain through Niagara Central.
Yeah, Niagara Central will give you this information as well as the license.
You have to weed through it. It's not organized the way that this is.
Yeah, the licenses in the JACEs and the supervisors have it as a line item, maintenance expiration date, but if you're not on site.
I didn't even know I had access to my list of licenses in Niagara Central.
You do.
Yeah, it's good to know.
You do.
Cool. Keep any problem getting it.
Yeah, Frank's the keeper of the keys.
Niagara Central.
Yes.
But this feature allows you to organize the information the way you would really need it organized, rather than poking through all of your jobs.
Yeah, because that's the way Niagara Central is basically set up, is by job. Underneath.
It's really by host, right? It's by contractor.
It's by contractor and then job underneath the contractor.
Yeah.
And a lot of the projects that are under there are PO numbers and not job names. That makes it real, especially when somebody comes back, oh, I'm out of job XYZ, and I need a copy of the license, or I need to know what it's licensed for. And I go in and look, and it's all these numbers. It's just PO numbers that mean nothing.
Where the building was sold and now it's called.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Frank's really good at putting together puzzles. Oh, you've got that computer over there, so it's got to be that computer.
Exactly.
What about if you don't have the SMA, you can't upgrade any of them then anymore, right? They just stay at the version they're at?
Well, they stay at the last version that your SMA covered.
Okay.
So whatever the latest version was when your SMA expired, that's what you can upgrade that JACE or supervisor.
Like right now, if you have a valid SMA today, it's 4.6.
Okay. Now, what about on your host ID, like your workbench? Do you have to have an SMA on that as well?
No, it's a demo license. You're paying every year.
Okay.
With the renewal fee.
So long as you pay every year, then your demo license will continue to work.
Right, and this feature doesn't work unless you have an SMA.
Correct. Yeah, because it's intended for actual jobs. Like,
right, it's intended for all the like 4.3 and later, right?
Yes, it has to be 4.3 or 3.
Yep. I'm going from 3.8 to N4 probably in August for building with AJ supervisor. I'm just going to pay the one SMA, right? Not the SMAs from the beginning of N4.
That's correct.
No, yeah, you wouldn't be doing it.
Because you weren't at N4 yet.
And then you also still have that's a JACE replacement upgrade where you get besides the analytics, I guess it's free analytics training plus 1,000 points or whatever, the upgrade AXN for you, replace an existing JACE
With an
8,000.
Ooh.
You get the.
I mean, I got another off-the-wall question. What happens with your EasyIO? Because they're also, I mean, don't they have any SMA required or anything like that? Why wouldn't a customer want to get away from a JACE and go to EasyIO?
Every JACE, whether it's an EasyIO brand or whoever's brand it is, has SMAs.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a Tritium thing.
Are you talking, when you say EasyIO, you don't mean JACEs, you mean EasyIO controllers?
No, EasyIO the supervisor that you can put, you know.
Still, N4, it's still,
Yeah,
there's still SMA.
it's still Tritium software. So
Is it?
it's still it's still covered by
branded.
Yeah, it's just branded as EasyIO.
Oh, I thought guys from Tritium left and started their own. I didn't know it was still tied in with Tritium.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Anything Niagara is Tritium.
Right, I know that, but I didn't think EasyIO was Niagara or Tritium or anything.
Then if it's a JACE, it's Niagara. If it's a supervisor,
Right.
it's Niagara. If it's something else, like
If it's an FG or
like EasyIO, what do they call it, Stack, Easy Stack, or something like that, then yeah, that's not Niagara.
Okay.
But EasyIO
That's what I
line,
was asking. Why the EasyIO line, does it require SMA and all that?
the Niagara baseline does.
yeah, because EasyIO
Right,
brands the Niagara stuff, as well as they have other software that is not Niagara.
Right.
Correct. Don't you guys sell that stuff as well?
But Easy Stack?
No, the EasyIO.
The EasyIO unitary hardware is separate from the Tritium stuff, separate from the Niagara stuff, but EasyIO retains the enterprise level capabilities of the Tritium stuff by just rebranding Tritium stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Understood. So what are some of the other topics? You'll just come out with new stuff that Tritium puts out? We'll just do a little webinar on it, or like this service? I mean, it's obviously new at the end of the year. Is there any other things in the workings, or?
Yeah, so I mean, that's really what we're looking for feedback on. It doesn't have to be Niagara based. It could be really anything.
No, that's
It
cool.
could be if you want to know more about IT stuff. It could be if you want to know about hardware stuff, different lines of controllers, whatever you're looking for. This is just sort of a catch-all, open thing, whatever you guys are looking to, hear about.
What's going to help you be successful?
Exactly. That's why we're here.
I know you guys always are great.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be a good idea moving forward is if we came up with an idea of something to discuss for the next session.
Yeah, it might be.
We all agreed upon.
Well, it might
be a good idea to talk about.
It might be worthwhile sending out something and saying, hey, next month's topic, next week or so, if you can come up with ideas, let us know, and we'll pick one and shoot it out to you what we're going to pick, and if it fits in with what you're looking to hear, you can show up or call in, and if not, wait for the next one. And that's the other thing, too, with this stuff, I'm going to make up for backup as a service and for asset manager, I'm going to make up a video, like a short, concise video of the process on both things, and they'll go up on vptechcenter.com.
Yeah, it's another good one there. Love that one.
Yeah, there's a good amount of effort that went into that. Hopefully you guys are seeing the benefits.
Yeah, it does make it much easier.
Yeah, so we're
hate calling.
Constantly trying to
hate calling or
that.
emailing. Oh, that's great. I hate calling or emailing for something you could just go download right there. Yeah, I know you guys are busy enough.
Yeah, it's so much easier than having to remember, you know, how to get to wherever it is by each of the manufacturers, you know, for their software or whatever. Like
Right, you just put it there.
Having the ability to do it at 2 a.m. if that's when you're working. Because I know we have guys who are working at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, well, I got to step out, guys. It was nice talking to you for a little bit. I'll look forward to future meetings.
Awesome. That's great. How about you, Kevin? You got anything?
Right, thanks.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'm here. No, thank you very much for an excellent presentation today.
If you think of anything that you think would be a worthy topic, please let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my one suggestion I have is certificate management.
Okay, yeah.
For the SSL stuff.
Matt.
Yep.
That's a really good idea.
Thank you very much for today's presentation.